Good morning. So I'd like to say a few words this morning about systems, particularly systems involving categorization, numbers, formulas that then have profiles, and whether it's the Enneagram, whether it's human design system, whether it's gene keys with its profile. What I wanted to say is that for me, there is a golden rule with such things. And that rule is the person first, the numbers second. It's really important. And I think it's a mistake that many people make. So you get a piece of paper or whether it's looking at someone's numerology, their astrology, whatever it is, you're looking at a system which then gives you a whole series of understandings about that person. But it's based on a mental view that is then being kind of deciphered through your brain and your heart and your intuition and all of that, your knowledge. And what that can do is that can set up an uncomfortable set of circumstances, because you then take the piece of paper and the numbers and your thoughts and your ideas and your opinions before you actually listen and look at the person. That there's a person in front of you. There's a live human being, and they have, that's what comes first. The person's heart, the person's body language, the person's presence, what's up in them that day, what pain they're holding, what their mood is, all of that. What they're wearing even. It's like everything about them is like they're here in front of you. That is the first view you're going to have of authentic view of anyone. So if you're working with such systems, my recommendation to you is put the piece of paper to the side, communicate with the person first, look in their eyes, smell them, listen to them, hear their tone, hear what they have to say, really listen, really absorb them. And when you can do that, then you're ready to look at the other thing. And you can look at that, and you can look for confirmations of what your intuition has told you in the other thing. Rather than the other way around, where you start with the numbers and you go, oh, you're a this, you're a that, you're a generator, you're a 2-4, you're a 1-5, and you get into this numbering kind of lingo jargon that then actually alienates you and brings you further away from the human in front of you. And people are always amazed, because I use this system and I teach this system called Gene Keys, and yet I don't really use it in my personal life. I don't need to know what people are, what their designs are, what their profile is. I don't need to know any of that. It's for me, and so I use my own, for myself, for my own journey and my cultivation. But like my children, I don't know all their numbers. I have kind of vague memories of what they are, but I don't want that in the way of my interaction with them. In the case of like close, intimate relationships, that it's useful to know some of the patterns that are coming up that are being triggered in you. And so obviously in those circumstances, it's really great. And it's good to know broad brushstrokes, particularly at the higher level. If you're looking at something that's like in the Gene Keys, for instance, we call them the cities and the gifts. You can look at those things, and it helps you, form a view of that person that's based on something very beneficial, very beautiful. So you really that can be helpful. But looking into the shadows of other people and those difficult patterns, I caution all the time. I caution that the shadows are for you. They're for your journey. You don't worry about anyone else's shadows. You worry about your own. You figure out your own, and then whatever someone is bringing to you, look at that. Look at what's coming up in you. So these are delicate areas, but there's a golden rule: the person first, the numbers second. So in anything. Like if you're looking at a perfect relation, your idea of a perfect relationship between two people and two profiles or two charts, or you're looking at a perfect group in a business, don't look at the numbers first. Look and see who's in front of you. What are their skills? What are their feelings? Do they actually kind of relate? Do they like each other? You know, I mean, these are basic human principles, and it's easy to lose sight of these basic principles, you know, when you're involved in systems of thought and understanding. And this can be applied across many things. And we humans have a tendency to forget the basic, essential human components of interaction, dialogue, you know, and what's essentially love. You know, it's like it's love. It's like, how is the love flowing through this person? Where might it be blocked? Where might it need a bit more listening to? So the system should support the intuition and the intelligence and the chemistry that is live between you and another. But it shouldn't lead the way. So the first thing you do, I advise, is listen to the person, look at them, be without the profile, be without the chart, and then use it later. Bring it in for deeper insight if you wish. But even that, like, it's not essential. You know, what's essential is your ability to take in another person with openness, with an open heart, with an open mind. So, you know, for many of the people in my life, they don't even know what I do. Many of my friends, they don't even know. And I mean, they know I do this thing, but they don't know that it has these profiling things. And if they ask me, probably I'll tell them, but I'm not bothered if they don't ask me. It's like, I'm there as their friend to interact with them as their friend. I don't need a piece of paper to kind of, or a chart or a profile or anything like that to enhance the relationship or my understanding of the relationship. It's there in the air between us. You know, that's enough. And sometimes what you can do is, when you know the basic principles that underlie all profiles and charts and things, then you can detect one of those patterns at work and you can have a hunch, but you don't need the profile to kind of confirm that, because you're seeing it live in the air. So you know then how to respond in a compassionate way and an empathic way. And so the systems themselves, the numbers and the all of that, and the language, it's for us to improve our skill of empathy, listening, to open our heart more, to be more sympathetic to others, to be more resonant, to be more compassionate towards ourselves, and particularly towards others. So yeah, I hope you get this message, and it's very, very important if you're engaged in the study of any of these systems for understanding human nature. That includes anything, you know, any psychological tool at all. So yes, take that into your day and have a look at that one.